How do you feel about that that fight with Jake and Tommy Fury?
I don't know, cause I definitely think Jake is a little bit overhyped.
I think
Um,
so as well.
I don't think he's as good as people will make him off to be. I definitely think Anderson Silva. Yeah, he beat Anderson Silva, but I think he didn't necessarily, in my eyes, he didn't beat Anderson Silva. I think Anderson Silva just lost the fight. Anderson Silva didn't. He did too much showboating. You know, he didn't do enough. When Anderson was actually fighting, he was piecing up Jake and actually like winning the fight. When Anderson Silva was throwing punches, letting his hands go, throwing combinations, he was winning. It was just he wasn't active enough. He wasn't doing enough. And then when he realized in the last round, his corner probably told him like, "Look, you're losing rounds. You need to go get him now." He got too aggressive and he got caught with a punch and got dropped.
Honestly, I think Anderson was just happy that he got that payday, to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably made more money on that one fight alone than in his entire career
Yeah, but
in the
I
UFC.
definitely think Anderson could have beat him because when Anderson Silva wanted to fight, he was taking it to Jake. It wasn't until he just was too inactive. I don't know if it's because he was scared of getting tired or he was fatiguing a little too much, so he decided to take it off. But he just wasn't active enough. He wasn't doing enough, and Jake wasn't really beating Anderson Silva. He was just being more active, which was
Yeah,
winning him the rounds. That's all it was. It's not Jake wasn't necessarily the better fighter. He was just being much more active, which won him the rounds. And it made Anderson Silva desperate, which what got him caught in that last round because you can't get desperate against someone who has some decent, pretty good punching power if he's putting people to sleep. He's got pretty good punching power. You can't get desperate and start charging in like that. You'll get caught. And that's what happened. That's how he got dropped. But yeah, I think if Anderson Silva was more active, it could be due to his age too. I do think Anderson Silva would have beat him, but anyways, the Tommy fight, it's tricky because Tommy hasn't really fought anyone good. Um, Jake definitely has fought the better opponents, but I think Tommy is the better boxer.
really, you
So
think that Jake has fought the better opponents?
yeah, I think Anderson Silva's better than anyone he's fought. Well, Anderson Silva and Tyron Woodley, not necessarily like boxing wise, but more so like names and fight experience and
Well,
knowing being
yeah, I
under the
totally get
lights.
that, but I feel like I don't know. It's just the way the Anderson Silva fight. I feel like is legit. I feel like that's his best win.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I do believe that Anderson would have won that fight if he was really. I just don't think he was taking it that serious, to be
Yeah,
honest with you.
he was doing a lot of showboating and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was taking it that serious. But I don't. The Tyron Woodley fight, it's hard to give him credit on that fight, man. I
Hmm.
mean, I know it's Tyron Woodley and he was the UFC champ for a while, and I love Tyron Woodley, especially when he was coming up.
Hmm.
To getting the UFC belt, he was knocking everybody out. He was a killer. Um, but he got cut from the UFC for a reason. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he got knocked out 4 times in a row.
Yeah, he got
Um,
dominated. Like, not even close. Like
yeah,
dominated.
so I just don't, especially in a boxing fight, like
And he's
I
a
didn't
wrestler too.
see.
It's not even like, yeah, he was getting knockouts because he has punching power, but
Yeah,
he was really setting up those knockouts with takedowns. That's how he was able to get the knockouts because people were afraid of the takedowns because he's a wrestler. Similar to how
yeah,
like Khabib dropped Connor. He didn't drop Connor because he's a better striker. It was because of the threat of the takedown that he didn't see the shot coming and he got clipped.
yeah. He
Hmm.
dropped his level. He changed levels and then threw that overhand
Hmm.
and
And
just cooked him.
that's how Tyron Woodley got all his knockouts. Not because he's a good striker, but because of the threat of the takedown, he was able to clip people when they had their hands down, like scared of the takedown.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, and again, I
mhm,
don't know anybody Fury has fought. To be honest with you,
mhm.
I didn't know who Fury was until this fight got announced because I don't really
Yeah,
I don't watch
he
boxing
hasn't
all that
really fought
much,
anyone.
but like he is a boxer. I mean, he's been
Hmm.
boxing his whole life.
Yep.
So I just feel like this is the first time, and I'm happy that it's happening now. If it happens, because this fight has been
Yeah.
has been signed and tried to get done twice now, but I just think that he's a real boxer.
Yeah.
Like he's been doing it his whole life. I don't care who he's fought. He's been doing it his whole life. This is the first real test that
Yeah.
Jake has had.
Yeah, this is the first real
And I'm
test.
and I'm intrigued to see how Jake does because Jake doesn't look bad.
Hmm.
Um,
He's not bad, yeah.
um, I just don't think he's a real. When it comes down to it, I don't think he's a real fighter. I just don't think it's in him. I don't
No, no,
think
yeah,
I
definitely
don't think
not.
he has that killer mentality.
Definitely not, because
Um,
he's talking about being a world champion, but let's be real. If you want to be a world champion, you want to be fighting. You be fighting boxers. You want to be fighting 40-year-old guys. He's doing it. Yeah, you have to make money, and the only way he's gonna make money is by fighting someone like Anderson Silva and people with those names. But if you wanted to be a world champion, you gotta go up. You gotta go up in the rankings like you're coming to becoming a world champion. And
yeah,
unfortunately, fighting Tommy Fury, it's not gonna, even if he wins, it's not going to win him any brownie points in going to the title, to an
no,
actual
no,
title
not,
fight.
not at all. I don't
Not
think.
even close.
I think that's just a facade that he's putting on.
Yeah, but it
Um,
definitely will be legitimate. It will prove that, it will prove to people that he has boxing, like he's a boxer. You can
yes,
he's a
yes.
boxer. He's more than just a puncher. He's an actual boxer.
I
Um
think he is a boxer. I mean, I consider him a boxer, even though he really hasn't fought anybody.
mhm.
And granted, Anderson Silva. I said that when he was fighting Anderson Silva that he's actually fighting somebody, but watching the fight, he was Anderson Silva wasn't taking that fight serious in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but this fight, I know Fury's gonna take this fight serious. I know he really wants to take his head off. And he's been doing it his whole life. He's been doing it since he was young. This is the first real test, real boxing test that Jake has had, and I just want to see how he does.
Mhm. I think it's the first test in general because I don't even think Jake has really even been punched like that. I think the only real punch he took was that one punch against Tyron Willie in the I think it was the first fight. Yeah, the first fight.
Yeah,
And he that should have been on it. That probably should have been a knockdown because the ropes, he fell back, and if the ropes weren't
yeah,
there, he
and
would have fell.
He didn't take that punch
Uh-huh.
well, too.
Yeah, the one punch he got
Um,
hit with, it should have been a knockdown. So it's not looking too good in my eyes because the one punch he did take, it hurt him. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, he definitely has that he definitely has knockout power. So he can switch the fight around with the power. And Tommy does get hit clean by guys that are, I think, Jake would beat. But it'll be interesting to see. I'll probably watch it
yeah,
just to see
I'll
what
be tuned
happens.
in for sure.
Hmm.
I'm glad that Jake is fighting someone real.
Hmm.
Um,
He's fighting someone that's
and
on his level. He's fighting
yes,
someone that will be a good fight, that is an intriguing fight, like fight wise for actual fight fans, not just for, people that want to see the big names that he fights. For people that actually want to see a fight, I think this is probably the best matchup for him at this time. So I think it's the
yeah,
best thing.
I believe so too.
And it'll be interesting to see if he wins, does and KSI, because KSI is fighting I'm pretty sure he's fighting the Fournier guy. I think he's 9-0 as a
I
professional
don't,
boxer. 8-0,
I
9-0.
don't, I don't see. Honestly, to be honest with you, I think Jake's better than him.
Yeah.
I think his form, the way he fights, the way he goes about his fights, um, the preparation. I think
Mhm.
Jake does everything right. It's just I just don't think he has that fighter mentality.
Yeah.
But I do think if he was to fight KSI, I think Jake would win. If he fights the way he has been fighting, just for the simple fact that I think he has better technique
Hmm.
and better coaching.
Yeah. He definitely has the better technique. But that will be. I think it will be another. I think it will be similar to when KSI fought Logan. It's just gonna be a technique against aggression. That's what I think it's gonna be. I think KSI is gonna come forward. He's gonna throw big shots. He's gonna be aggressive, and Jake is gonna try to stay away and pot shot and try to win on points. And maybe catch him with a big shot coming in. He could catch KSI with a big shot coming in, but I mean, we'll see. They have to win their fights at the end of the day. They both have to win their fights to even get to that point. So, we'll see what happens with that. But it is starting to get a little interesting now, especially now the fact that they've had years of experience now, so they're actually starting to get some technique down and you're starting to see their power come in and everything.